Hello there, this is me, Joey93, and this is going to be a Pretty Rhythm Rainbow Live Episode 3 review. So, basically what happens with the beginning of the episode is Ito is staring into a window, and she sees a sort of, she sees a guitar, and then she sees a sign next to it, and it says Gen Susanoo. So basically it must have something to do with why Ito was carrying a guitar and what happens with her brother. So, after that, we see An and Naru, and basically they're training at the beginning of the beginning of the school day. And basically what happens is An is trying to help Naru try to skate. And what happens is then An asks, "Oh yeah, are we the first ones to perform Prism Live?" Naru says, "Yeah, I don't know actually, but it was an exciting and heart-pounding feeling for me." And for An, she says that it had a delicious taste to it, or a delicious flavor to it. Then what happens is we see the teacher, and the teacher's then speaking about what happened with the work experience, and that everyone who has work experience, it's going to help them out, and that if they do well in that work experience, they could get a permanent position at that juncture. But then Ito comes in, and then the teacher asks about where Ito wants to work for work experience. But then Ito stands up because the teacher said Ito-san, and she walks off. So what happens is then we see An and Naru, they're talking, and An asks why Ito was so mad and why she stormed out again. And then we see Rina and they basically come in, and they say that Ito doesn't like her name as Ito, she wants to be called Cross, and basically that she's in a rock band, and she's actually pretty good at it. Then what happens is, then we see Eden Rose, or Edo Rose, and basically what Edo Rose is an elite Prism Academy for the greatest Prism Star candidates to have the greatest place possible to train to become the best Prism Stars. Then what happens is we see a little scene with Otaha, Baru, and Wakana. Otaha gives Baru and Wakana the drinks. Baru says it's the wrong tea. Otaha is sorry about it. But then we get into the main meat of the conversation, where Wakana asks, "Oh yeah, are you still mad about that manager situation?" Because Naru beat Baru out of the manager position. But Baru says it's not that. It's about the girl who performed four consecutive Prism jumps, and says that the only one before that to perform 4 consecutive Prism jumps in that time is Amao June. And basically Baru says it's a trick to it, and if she learns that trick, then the one after Amano June, the real one to perform it to 4 consecutive Prism jumps after Amano June, will be herself, Remroji Baru. After that, we see An and Naru, and basically they go into Prism Stone, and they see Rine, the girl who performed 4 consecutive Prism jumps. An asks who she is. Naru says exactly what happened, and that she performed 4 Prism jumps during Naru's Prism Life. Then what happens is An is very shocked by this, and asks where Rine went to school, if she's in any clubs, and what is her last name. Unfortunately, we don't learn that, because then the owner comes in and says that Naru has to find a makeup manager, and that Naru has to find a makeup manager. And An basically has to make 50 portions of chiffon cake as like her first job. After that, I believe, yes, there we go. Ito is basically in a situation where she's talking about the guitar that was seeing in the morning, and she talks to the shop owner about it. And the shop owner says, "Oh, that was owned by Gen Susanoo, one of the 3 top guitarists in Japan." and could have become one of the best in the world. Unfortunately, he had an injury with his left hand and hasn't played the guitar since. So what happens is Ito then asks, I'll buy it. The owner says, even if you ask, I don't think you can buy it since it's 3 million yen. But Ito says, I'll buy it. I'll definitely buy it. And until then, don't sell it to anyone. The owner then says, oh yeah, I guess it's been years since I've gotten any noise about it. So why not? I'll hold it. I'll hold on to it until then. Then what happens is the egg that's been following her since the morning hatches and says, Kurun. And basically tries to follow Ito. And it latches onto her. But unlike Naru and An, who accepted their pair friends easily, Ito doesn't, and basically pushes it away and just tells it to go away. Then it starts to cry a lot, abnormally a lot, and then Ito finally gives in and says, you can follow me if you want. What happens is, oh, okay, hold on. I think I might have missed something. Did I? I did. I'm super sorry. Before all that, yay, I'm sorry, chronological order times. Before all that, before Kurun hatched, what happens was then there was a situation with Ito. And Ito was helping out her brother, Jin. And what happens is she was performing in a rock band show, as it said before. What happens is she sees Rine, and when she strums with her pink pick, what happens is it breaks. Or purple pick, it breaks. What happens is then she pulls out the Prism Stone that would seem to be, looks like a pick, and strums it, and it has a different sound. What happens after that is then Ito goes out to search for Rine, and then Yuji passes by her. Nothing really happens there. And then Naru looks at Ito and says that she has some cool makeup. But she gets ignored. Now, back to where I was. There we go. What happens is after that with the store, the day after, Naru goes up to Ito and then tells her to go to the roof. And basically tells her, I want you to be a part of my store. Ito says no. But Kurun, Papun, Loveleen, and Naru all beg her to do it. But then Ito asks one really straightforward question. Am I going to get paid for it? Naru says, well, you're going to have to ask the owner about that. So then Naru brings Ito to the Prism Stone store. We see the owner and basically Naru says, oh yeah, that she's good with makeup, and Ito even claims her own case and says that she makes, or that she can put on makeup for a whole band. Then what happens is the owner says, like she did to Naru, that she has to pass a Prism Show evaluation before she gets a chance to become hired as a makeup manager. Then what happens is the usual thing happens with Naru. Ku gives her the Prism Live headphones, the Prism memory pass. Basically, she puts it in the machine, and she goes inside the Prism Stone room. Now, what happens is Akemi Megane says that the Prism Stone that Ito was holding out on the handkerchief is a gift from her mother, and says, does she want to use that? Ito says, I'm not going to use that stone, and instead, Kurun, like the other pair friends, transforms into a Prism Stone, and basically she performs with that uniform that she's given. Her Prism Live consists of a keyboard, and before the Prism Live, she does a jump called Cool Splash, and her Prism Jump, her final Prism Jump, looks like a Prism Act. I don't know, they don't say what it really is, but it's Jewel Spin Cross. Then after that, we get the usual, yay, congratulations, you did it, you're the makeup manager, and basically the store is complete, and at the end of the episode, we see the Prism Stone store open up, and Naru says welcome, and that is the end of the episode. I'm sorry again, this was long, and I was stammering a little bit. I don't know why. So, again, this has been a Pretty Rhythm Rainbow Live episode 3 review. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.